Hello, welcome to Meta Perfume. I'm Emily here again today with Twixie, who is still napping. And I am going to cover the Rocker Femme Fantasy fragrance and continue with my fantasy line reviews, the Britney Spears fantasy line. Rocker Femme Fantasy was released in 2014. It has not, unfortunately, stood the test of time in terms of production, and it is discontinued currently, but you can still find it sometimes on eBay or Mercari, where secondhand fragrances are sold. And I'm going to go into a detailed review shortly. I have a week. So anyway, the Rocker Femme Fantasy is not bad. It does have a lactonic component, and if you watch this channel, you may know I'm not partial to lactonic notes. However, I will go so far as to say this is one of the lactonic heavy fragrances that I like the best. That said, over time, maybe either the fragrance has degraded slightly, or my dislike of lactonic components in fragrance has increased. I'm not sure, but I say I would initially have given this maybe a 6.5 out of 10, and now I'm probably downgrading it to like a 6 out of 10. So just a little bit less than I used to like it. It's not bad, especially if you don't mind a lactonic note. The top notes in this are whipped cream, coconut, and blackberry. I wish it had more blackberry, but the prominent note is whipped cream, and the coconut's kind of mild. Coconut's a little bit hit or miss for me. Spray this one. Let's spray it over here. Give it a minute. So the middle notes are gardenia, violet, and jasmine. And I'm going to say the middle is not very prominent. It's really more about the base and the top. The little hint of subtle florals. But they mix nicely. It's not detracting. Now that it's calming down, it's nice. It's getting nicer. I think the opening is pretty good. I'm actually liking this more than I usually do today. The base on this is vanilla, cashmere, musk, and amber. And thankfully, it's just a little bit of amber. But that vanilla and cashmere wood and musk kind of make it for me. Twixie, you're so cute. Yeah, this fragrance is, I'm going to say like a nighttime fragrance. I would give it more than a daytime. It just has kind of like a warmth to it that I think would do better in slightly cooler weather. I mean, that amber warms it up a little bit. The whipped cream and the coconut make it a little bit cozy. It's not very fruity, and I'd say the vanilla and the musk are a little more prominent than either the cashmere wood or the amber. But it seems like a theme with the fantasy line to have like one woody note in the base. My last review was of Festive Fantasy, and that one has a sandalwood note in the base, but they're not very prominent. They're just a little bit of interest to maybe tone down the sweetness just a slight bit. Yeah, I think this is an interesting and unique fantasy. It's not quite as sweet as the Festive Fantasy that I reviewed. It doesn't have a designated sugar note in the base like most of them do, which I kind of like. I think it's a little bit more sophisticated. I'm going to upgrade this back up to a 6.5 right now because I'm liking it right now. I don't know why. Yeah, this is Rocker Femme Fantasy. Of course, you know, this wig is sort of, in my opinion, a little Rocker Femme. I just got one wig. I'm not big into the whole like put glue on your head wig thing. This is a cheap wig, and I cut the bangs a little bit to make it a little more reasonable, but generally, like, I'm just going bald during this, like, chemo. If you haven't seen it, if this is the first video you're watching, you can look at the link down below in the description, the 2 previous videos where I discussed my cancer diagnosis and my chemo treatment that I'm in the middle of, just about right in the middle of right now. But anyway, this wig was purchased after I shaved my hair off, and I think it's a little more rocker femme. The bald would be kind of rocker femme too, but anyway, I like to switch it up. And yes, this we are going to have to pay a little more probably because it's discontinued. If you really like the notes, I would say it's worth checking out. The longevity on this is decent. It is not spectacular. It is like moderate. I'd say it would last about 5 hours before you had to reapply. It's probably going to be like fall, maybe early spring type weather, maybe even spring. I wouldn't really recommend summer or deep winter use of it. It's sort of in the middle of the heaviness spectrum. It might do better in the fall and the spring, early spring. So that's it, Rocker Femme Fantasy. Thank you very much. Please subscribe and like this video if you liked it, and I will see you in my next one. Take care. Bye-bye.